Welcome to KBS World Radio. You're now tuned in to Korea24's Korea Book Club, where we explore the world of Korean literature. This is our weekend replay edition, playing back our book segment from Wednesday's show. We hope you enjoy it. I'm your host, Kwon Jang-woo. Joining me now in the studio is our literary critic, Barry Welsh. Barry, hello. It's great to see you again.
Yes, hello. It's great to see you too.
Okay, so what are we looking at this week? I understand that it's something a bit different.
Yes, that's right. So we have a very interesting book to talk about this week. We're reviewing a collection of essays called The Birth of K-Literature, the story of how Korean literature became K-literature. The Korean title is K-문학의 탄생, 한국 문학을 K-문학으로 만든 번역 이야기. And it was just published at the very end of last year. The book was produced and compiled and has an introduction from Dongguk University's Professor Cho Ui-yeon, who also worked with Hanguk University's Professor Lee Sang-bin. And one of my wonderful students at Dongguk University, Kim Bo-young, recently interviewed Professor Cho for the Dongguk Post student newspaper about why he produced this collection of translation-themed essays. And he said, despite the importance of translation, there is a noticeable lack of research and popular literature addressing the stories of Korean literary translators. Therefore, I aim to create a book that caters to public demand by capturing their narratives. And this book delves into the daily lives of translators who've been at the forefront of Korean literature translation, exploring the challenges they face and discussing the direction translation should take to make Korean literature more appealing to global readers. And like he says, The Birth of K-Literature is a collection of very thought-provoking essays in English and Korean, for the most part, focusing on some of the most successful translators of Korean literature in recent years, and it offers a fascinating insight into the role of translation, and I think it's genuinely a must-read for any fans of Korean literature or aspiring translators.
Wow, I mean, this sounds amazing, a real treasure for those interested in translated Korean literature, especially at a time when K-literature is really enjoying the limelight. It sounds like a very timely and important book indeed. So tell us more. What's in it, and how does this book enhance our understanding of modern Korean literature?
Right, yeah, so like you said, it really is a wonderful collection, and the essays, they offer a very profound and valuable insight into how translation has played a pivotal role in bringing Korean literary works to the global stage. And so the essays here, they're not just about the content of Korean literature, they're about the transformation of these works through the lens of translation. And the book discusses these sort of very complex dynamics between the original Korean text and their translations. And it emphasizes the creative challenges and the ethical considerations that are faced by the translators. And so, for example, one of the most interesting stories in one of the essays is from Jamie Chang, who, of course, we've reviewed many translations. But Jamie discusses being asked to translate Kim Ji-young, born 1982, and thinking, what could be easier? We're both women, we're both Korean, we're the same age, this is going to be a piece of cake. And then realizing that actually, as Jamie says, it was an illuminating and harrowing experience.
I mean, we've been very fortunate to have great literary translators on the show as guests and contributors, such as Anton Her and Kim Ji-young. And I would say that we've learned over the years that translation is not a science, it's an art form,
right?
Really. And with that comes differences, artistic liberties, etc., because there is no such thing as a perfect translation,
right, sure.
Of course. Because of that, sometimes, as you hinted, that the original meanings and nuances can be lost, but it seems like this book is trying to help refine that connection, or at least rethink about that link and connection. So tell us more about the structure and contents of this book. I understand that most of the essays in the book, there is an English and Korean version available in there, but there are a handful where only Korean is available. And the essays are grouped into 4 parts, right?
Right, yeah, that's correct. So there's 4 sections in the book. The first part has a series of essays which are about the intricacies and challenges of translation. So it's not just about the language, it's about cultural nuance and context. And then in the second section delves into more controversial aspects of translation, like you sort of hinted there, the debate between literal accuracy and creative interpretation. The third section discusses the relationship or the interplay between the authors and translators and perhaps the researchers, and highlights the collaborative nature of literary translation. And then the fourth part critically examines the status of K-literature in the global arena, so particularly within the wider Korean wave. And so I think this holistic approach gives readers a comprehensive view of the translation process and its impact on the literature that we're consuming in translation. And one of the essays is a great demonstration of this. So Bruce Fulton's essay, and again we've reviewed many of the Fulton's translations, but he goes through and reflects on like several of his most notable translations that he's worked on. So this includes One Left by Kim Soom, and How in Heaven's Name by Cho Chong-nae, and Mina by Kim Sa-gwan, many more. And he says that the ultimate goal is to increase empathy. That's how he chooses books to work on. And he writes, might not How in Heaven's Name validate the lives of those who have left their native Korea forever? Might not Mina ultimately help change the South Korean educational system from a chulse factory, sort of meaning get ahead in the world factory, to an environment where students are allowed to grow and develop as individuals? And so you get this really insightful and thought-provoking commentary on a series of his translations.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating insight into the mind of a translator, especially someone as renowned as Bruce Fulton. Mm-hmm. What other ideas and themes emerge from this book?
Right, yeah. So one of the things they talk about is this idea of the complexity of translation as an art form distinct in itself, and then the ethical dilemmas that are faced by translators, and then also just the sheer transformative power of translation in shaping the global perception of Korean literature. And some of the essays explore this tension between maintaining the integrity of the original text and adapting it to resonate with global audiences. There's been some controversies with those types of issues over the past few years, but the book underscores the importance of understanding cultural context and then the translator's responsibility in bridging the cultural gaps. And so these themes, I think, are crucial for understanding how Korean literature has been perceived and received internationally. And another one of the highlights in the book is Brother Anthony's essay. So again, we've reviewed many of Brother Anthony's translations. And he concludes in his essay that the Korean fiction which appeals to major world publishers is not gloomy and nationalistic. It is as entertaining and imaginative, sometimes as grotesque and hair-raising as any Korean movie, and shows that Korean writers have come a long way. Korean literature is now fully globalized, so much so that translators and agents have to struggle to keep up with it.
Yes, Brother Anthony, another familiar name for our regular listeners of Korea Book Club. Okay, so it sounds like this book is a must-read for anyone interested in Korean literature and the translation process then.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, it's a treasure trove for anyone interested in translation or Korean literature or just the impact of the Korean wave in general. So I think it's particularly insightful for aspiring translators, for literature students, for academics in the field of translation studies. It offers a deep dive into often overlooked aspects of translation, especially overlooked by general readers. And I think it makes it a valuable resource for anyone curious about the behind-the-scenes process that brings Korean literature to life for global readers.
Barry, thank you for introducing us to this book, and we'll see you again next time. Take care.
Okay, take care.